Really, that is very sad. An organization from where, on which we all depend so much, there is so much of corruption. And everybody there knows about it. And they can do without it. Because Indian Army pays you so well that you can have a decent life. It's become way of life for everyone in the civilian army that people are indulging into it. So, because Jerry spoke about journals, that gave me an idea. That gave me one reason to speak about it. After army, I was head of the Women's Cell National Human Rights Commission. I thought, okay, chalo yahan to corruption nahi hoga. Unfortunately, I worked for 2.5 years. There was not corruption, but then it was a two-plate organization. I served there. Then I realized no sense in continuing here. I was part of a telecom company. There again I saw what was there was corruption. Again disgusted. Handsome salary. I was getting around 14. That was good enough for me. But then I said, again I was somewhere in my heart, I was feeling very disgusted again. I left that. So I realized this topic is going to be very close to my heart, because I realized corruption is really inconvenient truth. One has to face it. And like any other citizen, like one of you, I used to sit at home and crib about it. So one day I thought, stop cribbing. Enough of cribbing. You don't achieve anything by cribbing. You have to come out. That's one reason I stood for the elections last time. Not to win, but to bring a change. Because when I used to speak to people, they used to say, we don't go in, all the elite, the intelligent people, they would say, why should we go and vote? There's nobody, worth voting for. I was not able to reach out to so many people because of my own constraints. But then I thought, let's give them a choice. So, like the first speaker who spoke, he said from PPI, it's the time when we need people like you to come out and change the system. And it's not to change the system. You have to put system in place. No system is bad. It is the people in the system who make it bad. You have one system today, you have another system tomorrow. If the people are corrupt, they will make that also bad. So what you really require is, I have so many brains around me, the best of brains we have. Still, why can't we find a solution? That is more important. I don't want it to be a talk session only. Enough of talking. The intellectuals, what they only do is talk. But what we really need is action. And Jerry, what you have done, believe me, is one of the actions. And I'm very grateful to iCongo that they've taken up this issue. We need not have an ordeal full of, this is the movie going on. But even the people who are sitting here, they might be handful of people, but it's very important. So with that, I will begin with session, and I'll request Mr. George Robert to please address the audience. Thank you. Sorry.
No problem.
My apologies.
No problem, Major. Probably, in an ultimate sense, the answer to corruption in the country is to get 20 million voices like yours raised until this becomes, the real experiences of real people with corruption becomes the agenda, and everybody talks about it. From my point of view, I'd like to offer 3 suggestions. I think that I'm more of a results-oriented person, and I'm always trying to find a way forward rather than looking backward. So I would start with the general principle. There's an old saying, Turkish saying, which is that the fish begins to stink at the head. So the first thing I would suggest is that there should be an anti-corruption commission set up which is independent and which targets politicians. We should take one prison in Delhi, one prison in Bombay, one prison in each of the other great cities, and empty out all the people who are under trials waiting on offences of 5,000 rupees and less, who are spending years and years and years in prison waiting to go to trial for nothing, and reserve those cells for the politicians, the hundreds of them, who will be put in prison for 5 years for corruption. This Corruption Commission should have the power to open every single bank account of every politician in the country, and all those politicians who cannot account for the thousands of crores that they have, which they cannot account for, those politicians should be put in prison. It should be a mandatory 5-year sentence. In other words, one way or another, whether it's that technique or another technique, it has to start at the top. The reason for that is that we cannot change a culture. You can't kill an idea with a bullet. You can only kill an idea with a better idea. The better idea than corruption is a meritocracy, where people are judged and valued on the merit of their